Hi, and welcome to another episode on Eat, Move, Be Healthy. In this episode, in our series 9, where we're doing a series on sleep, I'm joined by Sanne Kassies, who's an interior designer. Hi, Sanne. Welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
Sana specializes in residential design, so I thought I'd get her input on ways to make the bedroom the ideal boudoir or sleep space. And so, just because we've been discussing in a previous episodes in the series about your pre-bedtime rituals and routines, and about doing things that set yourself up and remind the body and send messages to the brain to say, look, we need to power down, get ready for bed, calm down. So we'll get our ideas on and tips and tricks and advice on lighting, soft furnishing, colors, and all of that. But at first, a little bit more about you, Sanne. So you're originally from the Netherlands, but you have lived Germany, South Africa, Switzerland, and now the UK. So you've lived all over the show, and that certainly must have influenced your design style. What is your design style?
Being Dutch makes me a little bit, pushes me a little bit in the Scandinavian corner, I guess. Netherlands, like here, there's not that much light. The winters can be quite dark, and I'm very much a fan of open spaces, light neutral colors, natural materials, extend the inside to out and the other way around, whenever we have the chance to do so.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think my travels have added influences of different countries, cultures, and opened my mind, I guess.
Yeah. The open plan living is very popular at the moment, and you can see why, because it does, you're right, especially in countries like this where it's where there's not, you've only got a few months of outdoor proper living. It's nice to have the outdoors, indoors, that sort of thing. But how does that extend? Because with a Scandinavian style, there isn't, what's the Scandinavian style in the bedroom? Because obviously it can't be open plan in the bedroom.
No, bedrooms are normally open plan, or you have a huge one, obviously. I think it's the use of natural materials, the lighter colors, the layering of different textures, different fabrics, and to especially make it a cozy and inviting, warm space.
So you, if I was to come to you and say, I want help on redoing, refurbing, redecorating my room, I would imagine, because, well, this is how I would be, but I would imagine quite a lot of people say to you, I just want it to look nice, but I don't like pink, or I don't like this, or I don't like green. And then pretty much, how do you go about guiding their style, or eking their style out of them, or guiding their choices? How do you approach that?
What I find really important, that a room becomes something personal and something unique for that client, because otherwise I would be restyling my own bedroom all the time. You sometimes have to guide them and guard them a little bit as well.
Yeah.
A certain color might be a great color, but instead of painting a whole room in that color, I would then suggest, okay, let's just do a feature wall, just try and add that color into accessories and some small fabrics.
So I guess it's true then to say that off the top of your head, let's just say red in a bedroom is not ideal, but that's not entirely true, because if you got the right sort of red, you could perhaps make it work. And like you say, perhaps not the entire bedroom in red, but maybe in one corner or something like that.
Yes, science is great for these things. And obviously they've done a lot of studies regarding colors and the influence on people, on their well-being, on their health, on their energy level. And science is great in that. But, I also believe that if you have a particular preference for a color, you can also try and trust that a little bit and think maybe that's what you need.
There's a woman I dealt with once also who would do your color coding for dress sense as well.
Yeah.
And they would say, oh, you can wear reds, greens, blue. But if somebody who can wear those colors as a personality, those bright, bold colors, as a personality is quite shy and retiring, put them in a red dress and they'll almost look awful, because they don't, their personality doesn't match. And I think that's what you're talking about here, same thing. Then what about with layout? And I mean, I have a very basic knowledge just even of just very basic knowledge of feng shui, and they often talk about that your bed should be placed in a position where you are facing east. So you wake up in the morning and you're facing the direction of the sun coming up. I mean, that's not always possible depending on the rooms. And so you can't always take that into account. But typically when you're looking into, if you're in a room, there's usually either 2 or 3 walls where the bed can kind of go against. Is there any sort of idea that you can kind of bear in mind when deciding where to put your bed?
Yes, like you say, it all depends on the shape and size of your bedroom. Things are not always possible the ideal way. Feng Shui is a very interesting Chinese way of living, and it's all about energy, and it wants to keep energy flowing, and especially places where it can't get to. And for them, that's really important. If you look at the position of the bed, what they say is don't put it in front, directly in the line of the door where you enter the bedroom, and preferably as far as possible away. So preferably diagonally on the other far corner. Also, they call it the command position, I think. So they want the bed to be in the command position. So that means you are in control. You can see the entry of the room. You can see all the corners of the room, because it gives a more secure and safe and therefore relaxed feeling.
I referred to it in one of the previous episodes, which isn't typically going to happen in a master bedroom, but in the children's bedroom, you quite often have the desk and the child's workspace is in their bedroom as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now we've obviously spoken about trying to kind of, come upstairs from the lounge or TV room, whatever, leave that behind, you're going to bed. But for a lot of kids, their workspace and bed sleep space, so the rest and relaxation space is in the same room as their work and space. How can you separate, or what are ways that we can separate or divide those?
You can do it in different ways. You can do it color-wise. So you can say, okay, where my child's desk is going to be, I'm going to paint that wall in a color that enhances concentration, doesn't distract, keep it calm. And you can also do it in a physical way by trying to separate the two areas. So if you have a desk, what very often is against a wall or underneath a window, your back is towards your bed. So you don't incorporate it in the bedroom, but it's you make it a different corner, a different area of the room. If you have enough space, what you can do is, what I really like, to make a natural room divider by either a bookcase that is open from both sides. You basically turn it with the short side against the wall, so that you have a room divider between two areas. But again, you need to have the space for that.
By default anyway, because you're going to need light at your desk, you'll have a brighter light right there. And then I guess you can then maybe have bedside lights at your bed.
Yeah. Lighting is very important anyway. And in a bedroom, you want the softer lights as an ambience light. And you want the task lights, for example, above your wardrobe, to be able to see what you take out.
So there's always that practical element, trying to kind of combine that with the luxury or aesthetic element. But I think the Scandinavian style manages that quite well too. That's quite tied into Scandinavian style, about being functionality.
Functionality and accessories that you put in the room very often have a function as well. And
pretty,
it's not over cluttered. It's neat and tidy. There's a lot of storage, because I think in a bedroom that's important as well. That it's not too cluttered, that you don't have clothes and shoes and items around everywhere. Yes, and if you're talking about a relaxed sleep, you want to enhance that, and you want a safe and inviting environment, and especially a bit more a spa feel or a more luxury feel, then it's not about adding more and more stuff. It's more, being critical about what do you have in there, and is it do I really like this, and does it really add anything to the room? And I think if it doesn't, it will look a lot calmer without.
So I've mentioned about kind of not necessarily saying no to no TV before bed or screen time, but just being a bit more rigorous and controlling about, right, I'm just going to watch this program and then switch off, try to be regulated a bit better. What are ways in the room with TVs? Are there any other creative ways? I mean, usually they're wall mounted, but sometimes they can also be a bit of an eyesore in the room. Are people shying away from TVs in the bedroom now? Is that still a popular choice?
I think it will stay popular. It depends a little bit on the person. Feng Shui obviously doesn't want any, well, as little as possible electrical devices in the room. But especially with children as well, teenagers. I've got 2 teenagers. They don't have a TV in the room. I don't find it necessary. And I still manage to keep it out of there. I think it's important because, like you say, you're very tempted to continue watching that. And coming back to whether there's creative ways to try and make the TV less visual. That's basically what your question was. There is a very, very interesting way, and I love it. If your budget is sufficient and you find it as important, there are TVs that if you turn them off, they're artworks. So you can choose the color of the frame around it, so it matches your room, the color scheme in your room, and you have a certain choice of artworks that you can put on. So there's no light. It's basically just like a painting. It's pretty. It's very pretty.
Wow, that is effective. You're right. Yeah, that's really.
And then you've got your bed end table. Some people put a table at the bed end where there's an automatic TV that comes out. I don't really like them, but I mean that's a way of getting rid of the TV. There are some ceiling mounting versions as well. So basically the TV will kind of come down out of the wall and will flip around its side. But otherwise a TV, it's not a pretty thing. And if you do have a partition wall in a bedroom, if you have the space for that, you could also opt for it to slide into that partition wall and slide out if you're going to watch it. That's another option.
Yeah, so maybe the option, by way of enhancing sleep, I'm saying if you really had somebody who maybe one of a partner insisted on having a TV in a room, perhaps if you made it something that disappeared and came out, then it's a conscious thought of, right, I'm going to watch TV right now, we've got to pack it away. Then perhaps that would help regulate your usage. Now, Sanne, your website, like I say, is great. Lots of pictures on how you work, and your Instagram too, which is Sanne Kassies .interior design. That's your handle there. But when you go on your website, you see with your services, you've created something which I don't think as a service you were thinking of the pandemic when you did, but it's a very pandemic friendly service, which is the distance design. So you email and video chat, which is great. So it would be a consultation like this. I would, I guess, show you around the room and say, this is what it is. And then obviously you'd get into more specifics, right?
What people normally do, they send me a video from the space that they want me to work on. They send me pictures and they send me the measurements, and I put it in a 3D, or I make a new layout for them, or think of the colors. If they have colors in the room already that they want to keep, or items they want to keep, I need measurements, I need photos, I need colors. If I can find the color that they want to keep on a color van, I can, from home, I can see what colors could really easily match with that. There's a lot you can do. There's some ththings you can't do, but there's a lot you can still do. So it's amazing.
You mentioned so you have that software which creates is it a 3D image or floor plan? Or
by visualizing that interior design in a 3D software program, where you can pretty much match what your thoughts are and what design is going to look like.
So obviously, I mean, that's a distance design. Like I say, that's pandemic friendly, but obviously you're available in person too. Well, Sanne, thanks so much. That's been really, really helpful, giving a bit of insight. And I think a few things is that don't be afraid to use an interior designer, because it need not cost the earth. And actually, like you said, if you're worth your weight as an interior designer, you should be able to work with any sort of budget. And certainly you offer a various range of services to accommodate that too. I'll mention your website again is Sanne Kassies, SANNEKASSIES -interiordesign.com. And go take a look. Go take a look. I think your gallery is beautiful. Your style, I do like the Scandinavian style, but the pictures on your website really do give you a hint of what your style is. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
And I hope to have you on again at some point again soon.
Thank you for inviting me.